pH is the method that you're most likely to be familiar with. It's a measurement of how acidic or basic the sample is based on the number of hydrogen ions present within the sample. So pH is a scale that ranges from 0 to 14, 0 being the most acidic end with things like battery acid at the extreme, and then kind of more moderately acidic, you'd see things like soda pop. 7 is a perfect neutral, and anything above 7 is considered to be more basic. So things like baking soda are at 9.5, and then the most extreme end of something that would be basic is something like a liquid drain cleaner. For streams, for the stream water where we're measuring the pH, it's going to vary from stream to stream, but generally we'd expect it to be around a neutral pH, so somewhere between 6.5 to 8. Here's a shot of the equipment that we use for pH. In the center is the pH meter itself, with the probe at the end with a container around it to keep it suspended in liquid, which I'll talk about in a minute. And then we also have the equipment needed to rinse it with DI water and then the chem wipes to dry it. One of the first things you'll want to do when you're ready to read pH is take the probe out of the storage solution. It's kept in that solution when the probe is not in use to keep the membrane at the end of the probe wet at all times, otherwise it can damage the instrument. So you'll just take that lower portion off, go ahead and unscrew it, and then slide that top part off. And then the next step is to rinse the probe with DI water, just to make sure that you get rid of any of the remaining storage solution on all parts of the probe and make sure that it's nice and clean for use. You can also use a chem wipe to dry it, as with other methods. Just be gentle and make sure that you're not damaging the end of the probe. So getting that excess water off, and then you can hook it back up on that suspension arm when it's not in use. Once you're ready to read the pH of a sample, you'll just bring the sample close to you and gently move the probe around in the water and wait for it to equilibrate. This takes a little bit, so you'll just have to kind of wait patiently. Thanks to the power of editing, I sped up the film here and you can see me swish for about a full minute. But on the left on the screen, you'll see ready pop up. Here, I slow it down. There it is. It only pops up for a minute with our pH probe, so you'll have to keep an eye on it. But once that pops up, you're good to go, and you can write down that value as the proper pH value. Then the next step is simply, as earlier, you just want to rinse off any sample that might have gotten on the probe, make sure that it's nice and clean. And then once that's done, if you're done with the probe or if you're taking a short break, you'll just want to make sure that, again, because that probe needs to stay wet on the end at all times, you'll just put that storage solution back on once you're done. And that's it.